Good morning, world.
Good morning out there. Question for you. What's a BIPOC? In order to find out, you gotta stay tuned. But in the meantime, if you love our stuff, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring that bell, and share our video with everyone you know. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian, and this is Cedric and Brian. All right, welcome back. Before we find out what a BIPOC is, check out our new hats. You guys have been asking. We finally got them in. So you can see they're a little bit different.
Camouflage.
Cedric's mad that I don't have mesh on the back, or that he has mesh. He likes this one. Yeah. But you have to have a child-sized head for this.
Brian has a small noggin. I'm the big brain on the show.
This is a youth size. So if you're a youth-sized head, so for all you females out there, go ahead. Let me have it. You can wear these. They are adjustable in the back.
I like the mesh, I like the trucker hat.
Yeah, so you can get the trucker hat. You can see the designs are a little bit different. And if you look back there's even another design. So you have choices.
It's all about choices.
Choices.
Yep.
So Cedric, what is a BIPOC? Now, before we get to that, I'm going to cut you off.
Yes.
Let's see this headline first.
Oh.
Check this out.
Jeez.
You can see Vermont GOP. So, boys and girls, GOP, that's a Republican. Governor opens up COVID vaccines for those who identify, and this is what BIPOC is,
Yes.
Black, Indigenous, or person of color.
Yes.
Yeah, so I had a question for Cedric. My understanding was that Black was part of person of color.
Right.
At least that's what it's been in the news, right?
Well, we have our own category now. Not only people of color, but we get to go one level up, and we also have our own category of Black.
And I noticed the Black is capitalized.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think white is.
No, of course not.
You know, I've talked to a few students. I'm off track again, as always. Did you guys know that GOP, I've always known this, but I found that most people don't, stands for Grand Old Party. Not too many people know that. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's the Republican Party. It just stands for Grand Old Party. So if you have children who are listening and they don't know what GOP is, GOP, Republican Party, they're all one and the same.
Okay.
Anyway.
So anyways, this governor, it is a governor, right? This governor of Vermont.
Yes. Phil Scott.
Who is a Republican. He decided that if you're white,
Yes.
you need not apply, correct, for the vaccine at this point?
You shouldn't apply immediately because the vaccine should be given to those who are in the higher risk category, which are the BIPOCs.
Okay. Of course, the highest risk category, there is no difference between the color of your skin.
Right.
It has to do with, number one, the elderly, and then people with underlying conditions.
Yes.
Specifically, diabetes and obesity are two of the biggies. So again, it's a damn shame.
It's a damn shame
that a Republican is now buying into this wokeness, and he's separating people by the color of their skin.
Well, it's crazy because Vermont is distributing this vaccine based upon race. And I think, Brian, I've lost track of how many times Brian and I have said this in our past videos. Imagine if the roles were reversed. And someone said, we are going to distribute the vaccines to white people first. And then after we do that, then there will be an uproar like no other.
Yeah.
But I always say, anytime you offer an advantage to one group of people, you have to offer a disadvantage to another group of people. Why is everything based upon color?
I know. And some people, I've heard them try to make the excuse that, well, these certain groups may be at a higher risk. In some areas, that's true, but as the numbers have played out, that has not been the case. It's more on, are you obese? Now, if there's certain parts of the country where certain peoples happen to be in that higher risk category because of diabetes or obesity, again, that's because of diabetes and obesity, not because the color of their skin. So the first question on the questionnaire was, are you a BIPOC? Which we explained. So if you identify as any of those, so obviously my wife then, and you, check that box.
I haven't looked at this, and maybe me and Brian have to check it out, but is it necessarily white and black, or is it more socioeconomic?
Yeah, I would say socioeconomic plays it's a better determining factor.
Right.
So
Then
again, but that doesn't sell. That doesn't get you votes.
Right.
What gets you votes when you're pandering to diverse groups is you have to play the race game.
Yeah.
And so it's a shame. I looked up this guy's bio. What's his name again? Scott?
Phil Scott.
So when I looked at his bio, obviously he's fiscally conservative, but everything else down the line, he's pretty much a liberal.
Yeah.
So again, I guess that's how you get elected in a state, like Vermont. But
and we didn't touch on this story, but this is very similar to what happened up in Sacramento when they said they're going to hand out $500 checks to, I think it was BIPOCs as well, people, Black, Indigenous, people of color.
Yeah.
If they're going to hand out $500 checks a month to those people, and if you're white, don't apply.
So I did do my ancestry. So what percentage do I have to have of a POC to apply?
This I just found this out. People, if you're upset about this, you live in Vermont, here is the loophole. It says if you identify as a BIPOC.
Okay.
So if you identify as a BIPOC,
then I can just go ahead and apply.
Go in there and say, "Why? This is how I identify."
Which is funny because we know one of our good friends. She just moved to Texas. She did her ancestry. Well, as far as we knew, her mom was white and her dad was black.
Right.
So she did her ancestry. Her majority color is Scottish.
Did not see that coming.
I think the third one down was, African Cameroon or something. I can't remember. But obviously, if she walked in, she looks like a black girl, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can, you might be able to say, yeah, she looks mixed.
Right.
But obviously, if she just was playing the race game, she could go in and she could just apply for all these things.
Right.
Even though she's actually more Scottish than I am.
Yeah. When she sent us that, I was like, this can't be right. They must have mixed up your vial with someone else and can't be right.
That's why this stuff is so dangerous and so silly. Because it's basically, what do you see with your eyes? Okay, obviously, Cedric's darker than me, so he can apply for this BIPOC nonsense. So
just say you identify as a BIPOC.
We wanted to bring that up because basically this is more critical race theory nonsense going on. So I guess we're supposed to punish, Whitey, for past indiscretions. And as Cedric has said, I don't recall me, my father, my grandfather, or my great-grandparents. In fact, on my mom's side, my great-grandparents came over from Poland to escape the Nazis.
Right.
So, but it doesn't matter. We're considered the bad guys.
Yes. Once again, we are punishing people who were never slave owners and benefiting people who were never slaves.
So anyway, that's the story of Vermont. If those of you who haven't heard it, it's a damn shame. Sorry, I keep stealing Cedric's line.
It's our line. It's our line. It's a damn shame.
So which is going to move us to what's in the news, and it's Georgia. So MLB, which I'm not a fan of anyway.
I went to my aunt's memorial service on Friday.
Yeah.
And small little plot in Inglewood, California. Ray Charles is buried there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
He said Georgia.
Yeah.
Made me think about
out. He did a great version of Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, Georgia Georgia, they put out some voting laws, right?
Yeah.
So they tried to put these laws out, and at first there was widespread approval for this because even Delta Airlines, before they got woke, here's what they had to say about the Delta.
Quote, the legislation improved considerably during the legislative process and expands weekend voting, codifies Sunday voting, and protects a voter's ability to cast an absentee ballot without offering a reason. Delta even at the time praised the law's protections for ballot drop boxes. Quote, for the first time, drop boxes have also been authorized for all counties statewide, and poll workers will be allowed to work across county lines.
So you can see from that, they were for it because it just makes sense. But then Joe Biden came out with this.
What I'm worried about is how un-American this whole initiative is. It's sick. It's sick. Deciding in some states that you cannot bring water to people standing in line, waiting to vote. Deciding that you're going to end voting at 5 o'clock when working people are just getting off work.
Oh, Joe. You know, Joe got 4 Pinocchios for that.
That's all?
From, get this, the Washington Post.
Oh my goodness. That time's in my
Now, nobody's going to, now if it would have come from like Fox News
right.
or,
You expect that.
you know, some horrible rag on the right, you know, because they're all terrible, you could understand it. But this is from the Washington Post. We know they're pretty much one of the wokest papers out there. And they even came out with these statements here saying that Joe, those aren't true. Those aren't true. And a couple of them were, one, he repeated the lie about, well, you saw it here,
Yeah.
when he talked about the water.
Yeah. Yeah. the bottled water?
Bottled water.
Yeah.
Absolutely not
And I don't
true.
understand that because that's insulting to BIPOCs. Go back to that. So it's like, if you're getting ready to go vote, and you don't have enough sense to grab a bottle of water or to stop somewhere and get water or get something to eat, then don't vote.
But not only that, it's just a flat out lie.
Yeah.
You can't be brought water by people that are partisan, that are trying to influence your vote in the line. And we have that here. You have to be, I can't remember how many feet away. You can't have bumper stickers, things like that.
Right.
It's just a natural law. You don't want people sitting there while people are waiting to vote and trying to convince them one way or the other.
Going to the sporting arena wearing your favorite team's jersey and rooting for that. This is totally different
Yeah.
than that.
So those are laws probably where you are as well. Your family member, people that aren't politically affiliated can bring you food and water. There is no law against it. It's a lie. And Joe keeps repeating this lie.
Don't have your family members bring you water. Stop and get some damn water. This is stupid. Stop and eat.
And the other thing, of course, that Joe keeps repeating, and, you know, pretty much the media, which is just an arm of the Democratic Party, Stacey Abrams, obviously, she's still butthurt that she lost her election in Georgia. She still thinks she's the, you know.
Well, Hillary's still bitter over 2016.
So, of course, they use terms like Jim Crow.
This is Jim Crow on steroids, what they're doing in Georgia and 40 other states.
These are worse. So I guess having voter ID is the same as Jim Crow laws of segregation.
Well, like the left, they just contradict themselves. So you have to have. They're upset that you have to have ID to vote, but you don't have to have ID to vote. But they make you have ID to get the vaccine.
Oh, I know.
It's like the hypocrisy is just running rampant.
Well, we talked about Delta. So Delta first agreed with this, and then, of course, when Joe came out and said how horrible it was, Delta, you know, made this statement right here.
Requiring voter identification, says Delta, is Jim Crow. But wait a minute, you might be wondering, doesn't Delta Airlines require photo ID in order to board its planes? Ooh, that sounds like Jim Crow.
Because
That's so racist.
I know, my goodness.
So it's just,
You don't need ID to get on the plane. Everybody just get on the plane. Come on. Whoever you are, get on.
So Cedric, what's my favorite word? Starts with an H.
Hypocrisy.
That's my favorite word with the media. And it'd be okay if the media would just come out and say, we're not bipartisan, we're just an arm of the Democratic Party, and then put it out there. We listen to the Daily Wire. We know they're conservative. We know it's going to have a conservative bent. But when you have CBS, NBC, ABC, CNN, NPR, I mean, they try to pretend that they're neutral. And anybody out there who thinks that they're neutral, I mean, what do we say about that? I mean, MSNBC, I don't even know if they say they're neutral. They're basically the left side of Fox. So
Right.
Fox, you know, we know Fox isn't neutral. They have some neutral stuff in there, but we know what we're getting. MSNBC, we know what we're getting. CNN still tries to pretend. And things
You
like
think they
that.
would go back the other way? Because like I said in the previous video, they've gone down 44% since Trump went out of office.
Because they don't have
a villain.
They don't have anybody to blame.
Yeah,
Of
every
course,
story needs a villain, and he's gone now.
Of course, that shooter, the guy, it was Atlanta, right, who shot up the massage parlors? Yes. Of course, they brought Trump back. They blamed him because of the whole China virus thing, even though the thing had nothing to do with race.
Can you be impeached as a private citizen?
They'll try to find a way because it'll keep their ratings up. All right, so obviously, and I asked Cedric this, so let's play this clip right here from Tucker.
Oh, I love Tucker.
Quote, the new Georgia law will require voters to submit ID to vote by mail, he wrote. If they use their driver's license, they need to provide the number. One of the two numbers below is correct. If they put the other down, it will be rejected. Are you sure you would pick the right one? Elias posted a photograph of a sample driver's license below his tweet, and the implication was pretty clear. According to Mark Elias, black people can't find their driver's license number even when it's clearly identified on the driver's license card. Mark Elias, like Delta, just doesn't think they can read it. So who's the racist in the story? Seriously, when you treat adults like children, what does that say about how you feel about them?
So Cedric, if you look at, you got your license there?
That's my license.
Do you know which one is your driver's license number? Can you figure that out?
All these numbers and all these letters. Lord have mercy. I'm going to take a gamble. Is this one in red, bigger font?
That says DL?
Has a DL in front of it.
I mean, who's being racist, really? This guy that Tucker just mentioned, he's basically treating people like idiots. Now, that's more racist than just saying, hey, you got to have an ID to vote, right? You got to have an ID to... listen to Jericho. You guys like Jericho Green?
I love some
Watch
Jericho Green.
Now, what is the problem that they have with the voting laws passed in Georgia? One of the main ones is it requires ID to vote. You need ID to do everything. Alcohol, renting anything, buying anything of substantial value, you are going to need your ID. Traveling, to move in society, you need identification. We need to know that you are who you say you are. We need to know that you're a citizen of this country. Because that comes with certain responsibilities and certain amenities. And in order to get them, you got to prove that they belong to you.
I don't know if we mentioned this. Georgia's going to lose $100 million to the people who expected to make money on the, concession stands, all of the hotels, and everything like that.
One of our favorite sayings, you go woke, go broke.
Yeah.
It happens. But it's weird about the whole license thing. It's like, you need a license to fish. You need a license to hunt. You need a license to drive a car. You need a license for pretty much everything, but all of a sudden now that you need a license to vote, all of a sudden it's Jim Crow and it's racist.
I know. And polling showed that actually African Americans, I'm going to use the politically correct term there, right?
All right.
POCs, African,
Right.
I don't know.
BIPOC.
Overwhelmingly, they agree that you should have to show IDs to vote.
Absolutely.
So why does the media keep creating this narrative that it's somehow
because
Jim
everyone,
Crow?
they're setting things up for the next voting cycle when all I don't want to say undocumented, illegal. What's the term now? Undocumented.
I think you got it.
Yeah.
They're just using the black vote right now as a segue to the illegals.
Right.
I got it.
Yes.
I got it.
It's like, you don't need an ID. Everybody vote. If you want to vote twice, vote twice. And let's not forget about the ballot boxes. Let's just have those sitting around and just stuff those at your leisure.
So bottom line is the Georgia law was actually making it easier to vote, not harder. But if you just watch the mainstream media, all you're going to get is that it's Jim Crow, it's dehydration, according to Joe. We're going to, those poor people out there that aren't going to be able to have water. Lie.
Right.
So all we're asking you is, and I know most of you that watch this, you probably do your homework so you know it. Share this. Share these lies, because if we don't share the lies, then people are going to believe it, because you've got people like us that pay attention to politics, and you have people on the left that pay attention to politics, but the vast majority in the middle don't pay attention. They just turn on their NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN. They're getting fed lies, and if we don't point it out, and if you don't point it out, then it just gets fed into the narrative, and that's how we got to this position.
Exactly. Come this week, we're going to be going on vacation pretty soon.
Yeah, we are. So we're not going to tell you yet when we get back.
Yes, hopefully it'll happen.
Hopefully we'll have some pictures for you.
Yes.
And that we're leaving Tuesday. We'll still have our videos Tuesday and Thursday.
Leaving on a jet plane. I have my ID though.
Yes.
I don't know when we'll be back.
But we are going to Nashville, so
yes,
I think we're going to the free state of Tennessee.
Yes.
Leaving California.
Yes.
So, what do you guys think? What do you think about this? For one, what do you think about the Vermont thing? Ridiculous. And then what do you think about this whole Georgia thing? Why is Major League Baseball, who I think just signed a contract with China, right? Why are they
there's your answer.
getting into the boycott? They're joining Coca-Cola. Who's the other one? Delta, Coca-Cola, and
NBA.
MLB. Yeah, and NBA. We already lost the NBA.
Yeah,
so
thank God.
all right.
Okay.
Well, we'll leave you with that. Cedric's got a good comment from one of our past videos, right?
Yes, we do. This is a comment from one of our video last week when we did the whole story about Muhammad Anwar, the Uber driver from Washington, D.C., who was murdered by the 13 and 15-year-old girl.
Allegedly.
I'm not going to say this person's name. I'm assuming she or he goes by no effing way. You can fill in the gaps. And I pointed this one out to Brian because me and Brian, we try and be middle of the road and we try and put truth out there. And a lot of people say that you appreciate the fact that we put the truth out there. So this person says, even though I'm left-leaning, a moderate Democrat, if you will, this is wrong. The media shouldn't be allowed to cherry-pick stories that fit their narratives. Muhammad Anwar's story hit hard for me, as I am the daughter of immigrants. It's time we stop trying to push narratives and start advocating for human decency, and this is cool, and holding all criminals, regardless of race, accountable. What a concept. I sincerely wish the best to Anwar and his family, and that those monsters receive the highest form of punishment possible. No way, I'll leave out your middle name. No way, we completely agree with you. Regardless of race, creed, or color, you commit a crime, you do the time.
Which reminds me, see the latest? You may have heard about this, but you had to look quick about the gentleman who killed the police officer at the Capitol.
Yeah.
Ran into 2 Capitol Police, and of course, it didn't fit the narrative because this, well, I'm not going to say gentleman, this a-hole who killed a police officer was a POC. I guess I can say black now because they got their own category.
Right, yes.
And he was a follower of Farrakhan, called a Farrakhan Jesus or something. But of course, if he were
And that's
white,
all over the news, isn't it?
yeah, because, you remember January 6th, those horrible Trump supporters that may have killed that police officer. They're still not sure how he died. This guy ran over a police officer, got out of the car with a knife, and was shot dead. And he was not a white Trump supporter, so it was in and out of the news pretty quick.
Yeah, back to page 10.
Yep.
It's only 8 pages, by the way, but back to page 10.
So anyways, it tied in with that story.
It's a damn shame.
It's nice that this person that leans on the left watches our channel. Hopefully he sees that we're not right-wing scary people. We against, again, my favorite word, hypocrisy. I hate hypocrisy over anything. And we just try to get the stories out there that just don't get told.
Right. And some of you have called us out. And if you call us out, we can't back it with facts and figures and statistics. Good on you. But that rarely happens.
Yeah. And then don't forget, we could use, we appreciate the support if you like. So we've got these hats now in red, blue, gray, black, and now camo. Camouflage. I kind of like the camo hats.
Yes. But coming up real quick, you guys are watching this on Tuesday, but coming up this Thursday, we're going to do the last in the trilogy of the Cherry Pie episodes from Tom McDonald, his song Heart Emojis. We did that in the can. We filmed it last week, but we're just releasing it this Thursday. But until next time, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring that bell, and share our videos with everyone you know.
And comment.
Until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian. We'll see you later.